real benefit about this picture of life. The nine veils, what the nine veils concept is trying to tell anybody is that God, when He created us, He wanted to find a system to help us to become great like the angels, but not through His will, through our will. God wants us to be great, not because He made us great. He wanted us to be great because we achieved greatness. So, this is the purpose of life. The angels were created to be great, but this was the will of God. This was not the will of the angels. They didn't become great because they wanted to become great. They became great because they were created to be great. But for human beings, God created human beings to give them the opportunity to become great of their own free will and of their own choosing. This is why God created human beings. Otherwise, He would have created us as monkeys. Because monkeys also grow old and die and live out their lives in survival. Human beings also grow old and die, and they live a good, comfortable life. Their life also is a life of survival. There is nothing more than pain, pleasure in a human being's life compared to an animal, because human beings do not achieve greatness. So God wanted to create a species, a creation which could become great of their own choosing, of their own effort, of their own hard work, so that they can feel proud of this greatness. Okay. So for example, you have Peter and you train him to become intelligent. Peter cannot feel proud because you are the one who made sure he was intelligent. Peter didn't become intelligent by himself. The same way, okay, he needs to feel proud. Okay, and if he feels proud, then he's able to achieve whatever it is. So God wanted to create a creation which would become this by themselves. So for these purposes, to help a creation to become full human being, to realize, to change, to understand and all of that, but to do everything on their own, not through God's will. He had to give them time to change, time to think, time to develop, time to be able to live. He had to give them a lot of time to think, time to, make mistakes, trying to realize, trying to find out, he had to give them time. To be able to give them time, they needed to be alive. To think, to try, to experiment, to do whatever they want to do. So he needed to give them time. And he gave them 70 years of their life. And he gave them a system of thinking, which is the animal system of thinking, so that they could be alive without having to worry. So they would see pain, they would run away from pain, they would go to pleasure. So he created a system which is called the first brain, or a system which has got all these 9 veils, which will give them the time. And in this time, these 9 veils will protect them from dying, protect them from any extreme things, protect them from danger, protect them from a lot of things. But this protecting them was also going to stop them from developing. So he gave them time so that these 9 veils stop them from protecting, from becoming great. But these 9 veils was there to help them to live an animal life. Then he sends the prophet. Then he sends teachers. Then he sends parents to go down there and tell this child to open your intellectual faculty. Because by the time they come to 13, 14 years old, their intellectual faculty is open. Open the intellectual faculty and think. Isn't it? If you did this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. So started to make them think. But they are thinking. So the prophets, through all the principles, through all the ethics, through all these concepts, with teachers or situations, are coming to poke human being. Hey, think. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? But the pressure of survival is very strong. The pressure of pain, pleasure is very strong. The pleasure of thinking is, yeah, but I have to work. Yeah, actually it's true, but I have to do work. I have to take care. I have to go. I have to study. So the time for thinking was very small, but the time for surviving was very big. So our parents indoctrinate us with a good character, you be kind or what, if you have good parents. Or if you don't get good parents who have time to indoctrinate or guide you, and you let your friends and you let your instinct control you, you will become cheat, liar, like in Holland, start to earn fast money without realizing the complication, because nobody there to protect you, because the first brain cannot think big picture. The veils are preventing you. So they come down here. Okay. So as they start to grow older and their intellectual faculty is open, but still doesn't make sense, a teacher comes along and tells you, hey, think about this, think about that, think about this, think about that. Your system, which God created in you naturally, has got 9 veils, and these 9 veils are actually stopping you from becoming full. But you can survive. You just go to work, come back, go to work, come back. You are not going to live a full life. But yeah. But if you sit down and think, if you sit down and understand, and if you break free from these 9 veils and develop full human ability where you use intellectual faculty, with intellectual faculty you can see everything, and you will realize that if you choose full life, it's better for you to enjoy for 70 years or 50 years instead of enjoying for 5 years. 5 years you drink, enjoy, monkey around, play the fool. 5 years you enjoy, but 50 years you will suffer. If 5 years don't enjoy so much, discipline and all that, 50 years you will be able to understand, live a good life. If you as a person who can think will realize, actually it's true. It's better for me to enjoy 50 years. But you cannot see by yourself unless somebody helps you. You cannot see by yourself because your veils prevent you. Your veils are stopping you. So somebody needs to come and help you to open up, to realize, to understand. And when you start to realize this, now you go into a new topic. Actually, my first brain system, which was given to me by nature, by God, has got 9 veils. These 9 veils can only give me survival. It's very low quality thinking. These 9 veils is very low quality thinking. Okay? But if I am in a good family, it helps me to maybe get high quality thinking in maybe how to be a doctor, or how to be an engineer, or how to be a computer. But overall life, it's low quality thinking. My first brain is low quality thinking. Unless I'm indoctrinated to pray to God, so I'll pray to God. But my system is a low quality system. Now, Baha'u'llah is telling us, or Science of Life is telling us, that this system is low quality and it has got 9 things which are collectively stopping you from becoming a full human being. So if you study all these 9 and start correcting, changing and reprogramming these 9, into 9 solid pillars in your life, because you need 9 parts to be thinking scientifically. You need 9 parts. These 9 veils can either be a low quality veils, or it could be 9 high quality pillars, high quality benchmarks to be able to achieve great things. Now, if we realize and then we start to change, my brain is an indoctrinated brain. An indoctrinated brain. My first brain is an indoctrinated. An indoctrinated brain means I depend on luck. Is it scientific? Not scientific, not up to me, up to my environment. So if my people who are helping me to get these indoctrination principles are people who are unscientific, I'm going to be unscientific. If people are more unwise, I'm going to have unwise. But if I sit down and check for myself, is this indoctrination scientific or not scientific, good for me or not good for me, wise or not wise, then I will be able to correct this indoctrination, not depend on big teacher to correct for me, society to correct for me, religion to correct for me. I can correct by myself because I understand science. I am using intellectual faculty to see the bigger picture. So I will change my indoctrinations, which are given to me, into I am giving myself. I am choosing my indoctrinations. When I choose my indoctrinations, it's not called indoctrinations anymore. It's called reprogramming by myself. But these are indoctrinations which are there. The first brain on its own is a logical brain. But logical brain is good for survival, for limitation. Now, I need to change this logical into 1 stone 5 birds. I need to sit down and think. Life is full of so many aspects. I cannot just think of one aspect of life. I need to change my system of thinking. I'm hungry, eat. I'm tired, this. I don't want to sleep, don't sleep. I want to have fun, I want to drink, what? These are all logical thinking. We have reason because we are not mad. Whatever we do, we have a reason, but is this reason wise? Is this reason holistic? Everybody, you cheat, there is a reason. There is one good reason, but 9 bad reasons. So, are we able to change our logical thinking? Okay, but is this logical thinking changed because we were trained to look at 5 things, or are we sitting down and changing? Because sometimes our parents teach us, you must think about your future, you must think about health, you must think about, your relationship, you must think about maybe God. They have taught us to think of 5 things, but only in one area. We are maybe not logical, we are holistic. But we need to remember that whatever we decide, we need to try to get as many aspects of our life as possible. We need to have overlapping. I want to be somebody who is happy. I want to have a married life. I want to have children. I want to be able to serve you. I want to do 5, 6 things at the same time in one job. So if I work as a business person, maybe I can get 1 or 2. But if I start to look for a job where I am also able to earn money, do social service, become like a social entrepreneur, and also have time with my child, I can get 5, 6 benefits from one source of activity. So I'm not logical. Yeah, I need to survive, but I also need to think of 5, 6. So I can change my logical thinking into 5, 6 different holistic thinking. My logical veil into a holistic veil, into a holistic pillar of thinking. Okay, we can cross over from logical into holistic. So like this, these 9 veils, okay, my first brain is operating on benchmarks, which were given to me as a child. Now these benchmarks are okay, it makes me survive and I am able to consider this, but these benchmarks are not giving me my full holistic life. I need to change my inability to see holistic because of the veil into my intellectual faculty, my third eye, which can help me to see the whole thing. So now I develop third eye. So that everything I do, I'm going to consider, not only now, I'm going to consider whole life. And my invisible faculty, where I cannot see that there is karma formation, that whatever good I do, the thing will come back and hit me. But With the veils, I was not. Now, without the veils, I can see. So I am going to change because I want to live a good life. Anybody who doesn't change will face the consequences. So I am not doing it because it is indoctrinated, because I'm told. I'm doing it because this is the right thing to do. I should change. This is a wise thing to do. This is the most scientific thing to do. Okay, considering the fact there is an afterlife, I am not listening to big teacher. I'm not listening. This is the reality. This is the right thing. The intellectual faculty is helping you to see the reality of life. We are following nobody. That's why in Science of Life, you do not need to go and research. You can just look into your life and realize, actually it's true, because you have been living the life. That's why it's called Science of Your Life. You're just helping to understand the life in a more holistic manner before you are looking at life from a very, very detailed manner. And then comes to human beings have two instincts, not just one instinct. We need to balance, okay? But because we didn't realize, so sometimes we are here, sometimes we are there, and sometimes they contradict, and sometimes we think about physical, sometimes we think about relationship, so it contradicts. Okay, today I need to know how to balance both. I need to be careful. I also need the physical. How can I develop both? How can I make sure I do not do one which destroys the other? I always do something which has always been able to complement the other, so that I will be able to move through in life. So, as a first brain, we are changing from physical to social instinct without realizing. Sometimes we get social, sometimes we get physical, and then sometimes our social cause physical problem, sometimes our physical cause social problem. All of this today, because I understand there are two, I am finding a way to balance. While I get my physical, I don't lose my social. When I get my social, I don't lose my physical. I'm trying to find a way to balance the two. So with this, now my brain is able to, using intellectual faculty, able to think. Then we also start to realize that this brain, there is an intellectual brain and there is an action brain. We have got the first brain, which is the action brain, which does actions. We also have the intellectual brain, which helps us to understand reality about what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. But whatever we know, do we have the ability to do? Now, to know and to do, there are two different systems. To know is to understand. To understand is to be able to use thought. To do, we need to use feelings. We need to reprogram feelings. We need to replace old feelings with new feelings. For example, we used to feel girls were lower than boys. Now we need to feel girls are equal. We need to change the feeling. Knowing doesn't affect us because this action brain, this body, operates on feelings. We need to reprogram the feelings, which will be able to give us the right action we want. So we need to reprogram our feelings. So our intellectual faculty, our second brain, we know everything, but we cannot do what we know because we have not learned how to transform feelings, transform these things. So knowledge will tell us what to do, and then a lot of practice, meditation, reflection, practice CI cycling until this feeling is reprogrammed, until this one becomes our new character. What we know, we need to be able to do, because one is operating on a thought level energy, one is operating on a feeling level. These are two different aspects of our lives. Okay, and until these two can harmonize and you can flow, what you know you cannot do. Oh, so I understand this. So even though I have so much of knowledge, I won't be able to. I'm still shy, I'm still frightened, I'm still lazy, I still have this problem, still have that. How am I going to change? I need to develop reflection. I need to develop meditation. I need to develop practice. I need to go through pain. I need to cross thresholds. I need to be someone who is going to fight against China. I need to learn how never to let my feelings control me, but I control my feelings. Shyness controls me. I must not let shyness control me. I must control confidence. I must not let fear control me. I must control boldness, dynamism. Fear will not control me. How do I learn control of feelings? So the whole process of learning how to control our feeling so that we have the ability to transform. But our feelings are connected to name, our feelings are connected to physical, and this name and this physical get mixed up. So sometimes we do not know, should we be controlling our physical feeling, should we be controlling our social feeling, our shyness and all that. We need to start dividing clearly. Physical feeling this, social feeling this. We must not allow this thing to crisscross. And we need to have solid grip. So we need to go through the whole process of being able to control the feelings which are in line with our intellectual faculty, which this is the right way to behave. Now we can behave that way. But when we were first brain, we were just behaving like an animal, just behaving like survival, just behaving for social. We were very limited. We couldn't achieve whatever great things we wanted. Now we have learned how to develop. So how to be able to transform all of this into our system so that we are able to be able to develop ability to control. If I am shy, I'm going to force myself to raise my hand, I'm going to force myself to talk, I'm going to force myself, hello, I'm going to do all of these things to break this shyness, embarrassment, worry what people think. I'm going to break all of this which is stopping me, which are the veils which are stopping me. I have to break all of this and I have to put a pillar there. Today I have a pillar. I have a source of power, source of light. It's a pillar, another one more of the pillars of my life, which is helping me to achieve whatever I want to achieve. Okay, so I know that when we were created, God gave us a mandate which is whenever you see pain, run away. Whenever you see pleasure, go. But stop pain first. So this one is operating. So because the brain cannot see the big picture, even the small things which give us pain but give us future pleasure, we cannot see because we are veiled. We don't have intellectual faculty. So because of that, our first brain, which is veiled, has a mandate without an intellectual faculty, which is stopping us from learning, stopping us from developing things, stopping us from developing so many skills because it cannot see the bigger picture. So this mandate is taking me in the wrong way. And somebody just praise me, make me happy. I want to make the other person happy and then I will buy their things, so I will do this, I will lose track and then never realize. So this mandate is always trying to make me happy. I like to drink. So my brain is going to remind me, why don't you go for it? Because your brain's responsibility, your brain's function is to make you happy. So we will want to drink and we want to take drugs. Because this is all the urges which are coming in because of our mandate. Our mandate are making all these urges coming to us so that we will do the bad thing, or it makes us come up with all these imaginary fears and shyness to stop us from doing things. So our mandate is operating based on first brain, based on without intellectual faculty. Now if I don't break my first mandate and if I don't use an intellectual faculty to reprogram my mandate, I want to have my mandate which is telling me the opposite. I am happy to go through pain for great pleasure. I'm happy to give up pleasure for I don't want pain in the future. So I have to reprogram my pain pleasure. I'm ready to study because of future. The first brain is I don't want pain. The new one is I am ready to go through any pain if there is a future. I'm ready to die for God. You can pull out my fingers because I'm going to learn for eternal life. So we reprogram the mandate where instead of running away from short-term pain, we are running away from short-term pleasure. Any unwise pleasure we don't want because these are all short-term pleasure. First brain, run away from short-term pain. Anything short-term pain, you must run away from. Today, I reprogram and put a pillar down there where I run away from short-term pleasure. Anything which makes me happy now, but actually cause consequences I don't want. So when you take all these 9 veils, your invisible picture, visible picture, your first brain, second brain, okay, all these different aspects from indoctrination to benchmarks and all that. Oh, this is how my first brain has been running my life. I need to correct this. I need to change this. I need to be scientific, I need to do this. Once I start to do all of this, then I will be able to achieve what I need to achieve. Then I will be operating on a full human basis. Now I am calm. Now I control my feeling. Now I decide my mandate. My mandate is stop all short-term pain, short-term pleasure. Don't worry about short-term pain. I change. Now I am able to reprogram my feelings. Now I can see the bigger picture. Now I am aware of all of this. Now I am living a life because this is the best life to live. This is the most scientific life. This is the most effective life, the wisest life, the best life, and it will give you afterlife. This is the most scientific, the most logical, the most right thing to do. Any wise human being should want to do this. So, but this was your choice. This was not put into you like the angels. This one you learned the hard way. You transformed. You realized. You made sense. So when these veils come, these feelings come to distract you, you say, no. I want the greatest life. I'm not going to fall trapped into all this. I control myself. I am established. When you do this, you are called enlightened. You are called full human being. With this power, and you live all the principles, you will tap another power. When you become full human being, you will tap another power, the power of God. Where whatever you do, you will be able to use 1,000 times bigger. Because now you are going to do service to humanity. Your life, your needs, everything is settled. You will make a life. You will change, you will organize, you will plan. People will come from don't know where to come and work together with you. You will be in a team trying to do all of these great things. But you are scientific. You're not going to cheat, you're not going to lie, you're not going to hurt. So for example, why do you want to hurt? Hurt is still maybe this ego, maybe this sensitivity, clean that. Because this is not the wise thing to do. If there is a better way to do it, why are you doing it in the worst way? If there's a nicer way, easier way, happier way to solve the problem, why are you using the worst way? That means you are still using your first brain. So if I'm going to hurt Peter, that means I'm still using my old. I need to change. Now, I have changed 900 things. I still have 100 things to change. Some people have, Peter has only changed 200 things. He still has 800 things. I have changed 900 things, but I still have 100 things to change. I am not perfect. There is nobody. Only one who is perfect is God. But yes, I have changed so many things. I've developed so many things. All that. So when we achieve this, God works through us. The power of God works through us. Now you are what we call an instrument which God can work through because you are living by His principles. To become an instrument, you need to be a full human being. For God to work through you, you need to have all His principles. When God works through you, you are lucky. If you can work for God, we all apply to work for God to be He's our boss. And here, because if He's our boss, in next life He pays for everything. So how do we live? How do we transform? This is the actual challenge of God. God wants to see the human being who learns how to look at God and say, God, you are God. You are genius. You are scientific. You are brilliant. You are fantastic. You made me love you, not by you forcing me, helping me, creating a system where I can see how wonderful you are. Not I am forced to accept how wonderful you are. Like what all religion teaches. We have to sit down and pray to God because although today we pray to God because we look at how great, how brilliant, how wonderful God is. We do it because we can see. We don't do it because we are forced. We help the world. We do it not because we are forced. Not even because we want to go to heaven. Because God says, if you want to go to heaven, you can. Until you can learn to do it out of love for humanity, He will not accept you. So God does not believe in forcing. He doesn't want you to do it because you were indoctrinated, you were forced, or you had no choice, or you are. You will do it because you have the free will to do it. God prides in free will. My system is only available to those people who have come to me of their own free will. If you want to be with God, you have to prove to God it's not because of your father, not because of your husband, not because of your son, not because you have come to God because of your own free will, because you have seen, you have realized, you have transformed, you have a direct link to God, not link to God through somebody. Dinu cannot go to God through me. Chili cannot go to God through me. God needs a direct link. You did it because you were able to create this connection to God. Now He will work for you. Now He will work through you. He does not work through indirect people. You need to show that you have been able to love and understand and recognize. Now He will work through you, and He will open you up. He will throw wisdom, throw concepts, throw everything into you, where you will be able to achieve things which you cannot imagine. But this is the condition. Not through somebody. You will do it. So the whole thing was giving you 50 years, 70 years to be able to transform from a first brain, lower nature into a human being who will be able to achieve whatever you are supposed to achieve, and give you situation after situation in order to help you to achieve. This is what greatness is all about. And this is the greatest life. And this is the happiest life. And when you die, you move on to the next life. And in the process, you can help 1,000 different people, tens of thousands different people, because He will give you power, support, everything to be able to achieve. So that is the challenge of life. The challenge of life was to be able to understand that you had a first brain. The first brain was having all limitations. Today you have intellectual faculty. You have to build your intellectual faculty. You have to reprogram your first brain with all your second brain pillars. And then pure free will, no compulsion, nothing on your own, able to recognize and all that and be to God. That's why the best below all things in my sight just see. Baha'u'llah gives all of these conditions. And He tells you life will be happiness upon happiness upon happiness upon happiness upon happiness if you are able to know the creator of the universe, the King of Kings, the most wonderful, the perfect, the genius, the brilliant. You have now made a friendship relationship with that supreme power. How can your life be miserable? He will compensate you, guide you, help you, do everything for you. This is the situation. Make sense?